Uh, so, welcome to Stootap. So, this is our second episode in the Stoop Talk series, and today we have Chinmay and Sharali with us. They are building a new age medical AI startup which focuses on recovery of patients and providing a better service and an integrated platform for early recovery of patients. This is not an interview style podcast. This is closer to a working session. And the idea here is very simple. We talk through where the founder is, where your people are right now in building your product, and identify what's not working. And then we outline what would happen next. So, today, instead of asking too many questions, we'll just slow things down and understand the core issue of what you are working through right now and what you're building and walk through the possible directions. So, before we begin, I would like to have each of you to introduce yourselves and have a brief introduction to what you're building from you. I'd like to hear that from you.
Great. So I'm Chinmay, the CEO and founder of Recovery Link, and Sharali, you mentioned.
Hi, my name is Sharali Padikala, and I am also a co-founder at Recovery Link.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go through the problem statement, what we are actually trying to solve. So many of us would have met people with disabilities in our lives. For example, like someone has a paralysis, someone has speech impairment, or for example, due to an accident has lost the functioning of his hand, etc. So these type of people need long-term recovery process, extended over months to years. So this recovery currently is very unsegmented. It has lots of breaks in between because of different hospital changes or the physician changes, and there's always a delay in recovery, which is kind of not suitable currently. We want to change this. That is what we started off with. Solution will be told by Sharan.
Yes. So basically, Recovery Link is an AI-powered medical platform that's main goal is to centralize the currently very segmented recovery process. The problem is, as Chinmay said, the problem is constant delays and there's a lot of redundancy in the current setup. Our goal is to reduce that in order to give patients the recovery that they desperately desire. Because what happens a lot of times in long-term rehabilitation is they often lose motivation because there's no sort of progress that is visible, or even if it is visible, it is so minuscule that it'll take months for them to actually notice anything. We want to be able to give them the best recovery and healing possible, which is why we created Recovery Link. So it will help you keep all your reports together. It will help you with a progress tracker of sorts, such that you are able to get motivated and actually complete all your goals. Because what happens a lot of times, and I've seen this, is they'll come for the physiotherapy session and they'll only do the exercises then. They'll not be intentional about it, they'll not be continuous with it, and that's often a problem. We're trying to solve all of those issues with Recovery.
Yeah, I understand. That was a very amazing introduction to recovery link. So, what I essentially understand here is that your people are trying to build an integrated platform for early recovery of people who have undergone surgery procedures or any other sort of post surgical procedures. So, that is an amazing idea which you're building, and I appreciate you have taken up such an essential part of recovery which is undertapped in the market, and it definitely has a huge potential if executed in the right way. So what I'm currently understanding right now is that you have your problem statement clearly sort out in front of you, and then basically you want to centralize the post operation procedures like physiotherapy or occupational therapy with the use of AI to streamline this recovery. So I'd like to understand from you how you would like to take things forward, and where exactly in the process of building a startup are you in right now? Do you currently have an MVP? Have you already onboarded any clients? I'd love to know more about at what stage you are right now in building the startup.
Yeah, I'll answer this one.
Yeah.
We have an MVP ready, and we are not onboarding clients as of yet because we're trying to build a production model which is better suited for testing. And we have connections with certain hospitals and medical colleges, which we are going to contact later when we get through with the testing. So that is what our standpoint is like.
Yeah, I understand. So I think this is you are in a very solid stage of building your startup right now. Having an MVP right now at this point is very essential for uh, health tech founders to progress in building your startup. So I would love to know, just to kick things off, what is one part of building Recovery Link which you found that which was a sort of a time-consuming process, or where you felt stuck? What is currently inhibiting you from moving on to the next stage, so that we could explore your direction forward?
All right, I'll answer this one.
Yeah.
The main issue so far that we've faced is where do we go with it? So we've had to reroute multiple times because we're still learning, right? We're second years.
Yes.
We keep rerouting and changing direction because we're constantly learning new things. As we learn, we constantly keep improving the app. And while that is very essential, it's also a place where you sometimes feel is a little futile because you constantly get back to square one and have to rebuild again. So we're trying to see through things much into the future so that we don't have to keep circling back to square one. And also, we want to make sure that our product reaches all the people that can definitely benefit from it. So those are two areas that we have to give a lot of thought in the future as well.
Yeah. So what I currently understand right now is you people already have an MVP in place, and you people are currently facing problem in going forward, which means that you already have a solid idea to build around, but you don't have a structure to build your idea ahead. You would need help in the validation of your idea and planning the next steps in your process of building a startup. And secondarily, I also understand that you are trying to manage a lot of things at the same time. You do not have a certain, you have not broken down your problem statement into different parts, which is essentially muddling up all the things. As Sharali mentioned, you people are currently facing this issue where you're rerouting your process, and that is essentially because I feel that a much more structured way to deal with your startup would be to essentially break down different parts of your startup. So basically what happens in these early stages after building an MVP is that what prevents MVPs to actually become full-fledged startups is mainly founders try to juggle all the responsibilities with themselves. So we at Stootap believe that if a founder can delegate a task to somebody else who can do it at a much better, who can do it in a much better way, uh, they should definitely do it, because as a founder you definitely have much more things to care about and look forward to, except looking after, say for example, marketing, growth, web development, or since you're building an AI platform, that would also require a greater detail of expertise, technical expertise. So that would be one insight I would like to give you people right as we go into the conversation. So right now, what I understand is that you people need more direction right now, and so let's get into the technical details of what you people are building right now. So right now, what does the platform you have built currently do, and what does the platform you have currently built actually do on a daily basis? Does it already do the onboarding of clients, or does it give the customers an idea of what you're building? So I'd love to know at what stage you are in the platform you have built.
Okay, I'll give you a very brief walkthrough of the platform. Currently, there are no clients on it because we're still building through the process. But yeah, I'll just show you how it would navigate.
Yeah.
So basically, first we have three components. Basically, one is the record holder, which holds all your patient records and stuff. The second is a recovery tracker, which Sharali told you about. And the final is a specialist algorithm, which maps you through different specialists aligned in our actual platform. So when a user boards in, he puts basically whatever previous patient data he has. This is not stored with us. It is stored with the user itself. We are just using it with our model, use it, and then give it back. So it will be stored in the user's model itself. And once we get the patient data, we have a certain recovery limit. So we get to know where he's standing currently in his recovery through our algorithms and stuff. So once we get to know that, we have certain metrics we have put throughout the app, which calculate, for example, some calculate your posture, some calculate where you're currently cognitively thinking based on certain games and stuff, and some calculate your occupation, for example handwriting and typing, which is very much needed later on. So we see all those small things, and we keep a metric for each things, and these metrics are all later combined in our recovery tracker, which we keep track of your recovery throughout this one. At this point, from the recovery tracker, we can map it to your specialist at, like, in this point you might need to consult him, or in this point you might need to consult. So this is how a user would actually walk through our app when he actually uses it.
I understand. I think you have built an MVP which actually serves the needs of the user, no nonsense MVP which deals with all the problems a potential user might face, and that is an extremely good thing, that you have not overcomplicated the features you would want to add. You have only added the essential features what the prospective customer, which is basically somebody who has undergone a surgical procedure, has gone through. So next, going forward, I'd love to know what part of building your startup till now has taken up most of your time, which you think might have taken up less time if you had made a decision other than the one you have made right now. This is for us to help you to take better decisions in the future, and also try to consult, give you an idea about how you can go about in the future.
All right, I'll take up this question. So we basically started this last semester where both Chinmay and I were very new into machine learning and AI and all those things. So what we started off was a very basic rudimentary model. The issue with that was there were a lot of unnecessary things in that increased redundancy. As we learned, as we increased our knowledge base, we ended up cutting down a lot of those things because you can achieve better results without all those fancy features. And as we've now taken those on as separate projects so that we're able to fine tune each single parameter. For example, I'd like to elaborate on why all the features are so important. For example, the record holder, right? The main issue that I have noticed in a lot of the hospital reports that I or maybe my family members have is the variance in its structure. There are multiple structures are used by multiple different hospitals, and none of them are really compatible with each other. So the physician spends a good 5-10 minutes just searching for information instead of actually gaining insights on what the problems the patient are facing. So this was primarily to solve that. And then the other we've got very specific factors. We've narrowed the factors down based on research papers. We did research a little later, so that should have been something we should have done in the beginning. But based on research papers, we have narrowed down specific factors in things like maybe handwriting analysis or say typing. So it's not basically just how fast you're typing. You have to look at things like accuracy and consistency. All of these things are things we may have overlooked in the past because we were very new to it. So I guess if we had gotten or had those insights much earlier, we would have been able to develop it a lot faster.
Yeah, I understand. So I believe that these ideas, what I have understood so far from this conversation is that you already have a solid idea. It has a solid prospective users. There are a lot of people who would be probably using your product. I believe where you are stuck currently is right now is, in spite of having a solid idea, I believe that the pace at which you're executing it is a bit slow compared to what the industry would require you. This is not a discouragement of any sort, but this is just me pointing out to you that having an amazing idea is great. All startups in the world which are funded, which get funding, have great ideas. But what essentially happens with startups at this stage would be that they get stuck in the process of ideation so much that they fail to execute their ideas, and by the time they execute their ideas and the ideas come to the market, maybe some other competitor might have come and then executed the same thing. So in the world of startup, all it is a game of how fast you move and how fastly you iterate through things and your features currently. So what I currently believe is that two people need two things. One is structure and another is direction. Coming to structure, so what I believe is that you people need to have a separate tech team. If you can get to, if Stootap comes on board with you, we will help you in hiring a tech team or getting you in contact at least with specialist machine learning engineers who would be loving to guide you or even work for you. in a prospectively work for Recovery Link as engineers. So that would be one thing I would strongly suggest, because currently, while I understand that you both have solid ideas, keeping on reiterating your idea and not fixing onto one idea and developing it would cost you in the long run of what could have prospectively been Recovery Link. So I think that would be one essential note I'd like to leave you people with. And so moving on next, I'd like to know, 6 months down the line, where do you see the startup going towards, and what features or what progress would you want to see in the startup?
Okay, 6 months down the line. Within 6 months, we would have finished our production model according to us, and we would have also put it down to testing. So we would have actual real life data metrics of how the actual product is working. So by the time we think we would have optimized our app so that it could be put for real world use, and we would finally launch the app as a standalone scalable product. So that is our goal by the end of this 6 months.
Uh, I understand. So I understand that you have an ambitious goal of completing the production model and putting it into production at the end of 6 months. So what I believe is another would be another bottleneck for you people is that uh, medical AI is something which has strong regulatory hurdles in registering your people. So obviously, when you start dealing with huge clients like hospitals would not be leaning to work with people who have not registered. Or so what I'm trying to essentially hint here is that if you I would love to suggest you to get into legalizing your startup as an initial stage itself, because that would also give you the ability to reach out to founders, investors, and also your prospective clients, because having legalization is such a powerful tool which a lot of startups ignore. Because a legalization is such a plus point, it shows your serious commitment to building something, and also your clients that these people are building something and they're committed towards building a vision of your product. So I believe that legalization should also be something you should be looking forward to in the 6 months. And we at Stootap would love to help you with legalization, as we offer specific legalization services for new startups by breaking down your problems and helping you out throughout the stage. So moving on to the next question. So right now you have a startup idea, and so going forward, when you are going to scale this startup, so would you want to build this as obviously you're college students right now, so do you look forward to scaling up this startup as scaling up this startup and working on this, or do you want to treat this as a side project of sorts which helps you develop your skills? So what is your vision for the long term, because that will help you understand. Deciding this at this stage would help you understand the long term vision which you would want to have for the startup, and also get more help, because if you want to treat it as a startup right now, you would obviously require more help. But obviously having this as a side project, building it would give you a lot of value to your resume. So I would love to know which one you're targeting at right now.
Okay, so that is quite a nice question. The what I think both our current goals are making this into an actual product, because this we started this off as it was just an idea that we had in semester one from a technical English review. It was just an idea that we had come up with then. And this was both because we have personal experience with people who, or family or friends who have dealt with stuff in this particular field. And it's been really tough to see that happen and for them to have no help whatsoever. So it's not just about us, while it will add a lot of weight to our resume, definitely it will. It is more making this into a proper usable product that will benefit people in the future. Otherwise, it would be quite pointless, all of the work we would have put in.
I understand. So I see the strong commitment both of you have towards making this a strong product which would go into the market and potentially benefit millions of people who go undergo surgical procedures. So, coming down to the details now, you're cutting off all the fluff. So, 3 months down the line, what would be your vision of what would be one short term goal you would love to have, and what is one bottleneck you're facing to achieve that goal?
Yeah, 3 months down the line, again, get at least like beta testing wise product ready. But this bottleneck we are facing currently is not the machine learning part, is actually the app part. We are facing difficulties finding a bit of app developers currently in us, because this requires a whole lot of engineering in terms of the app, because the machine learning and the whole structure is very complex in the backend part. So many people are hesitant to take on this a bit of a long term job. So you're finding it difficult to find app developers. So that's one thing is about it.
Yeah. So I'd like to suggest you one thing. You can take this as a feedback. So what I essentially see that you have an amazing idea. You have an amazing idea to scale your product to actually something that works. So, but what an MVP does is need not necessarily be a completely full-fledged product which you will be benefiting entirely. So what I want you to focus on 3 months down the line is having a product which basically acts as a brief idea to the people, to the investors you will be pitching to, or to the users who will be prospectively using it. So one thing which happens to founders who obsess over building a perfect MVP is that you will never be able to build a perfect product. That is obviously the reality, because obviously a lot of people will have a lot of problems using your app. So in my suggestion, you should be focusing on building a much less complicated MVP. While I understand that I'm not a technical guy, I know marketing, so I can tell you the psychology behind why I'm suggesting you this. It is because essentially when you develop a minimal MVP and then go to feedback, you iterate through the process, you develop your product through feedback. It is always better to iterate through feedback rather than the founders thinking that this might be the problem. When you actually have an MVP and you go to people and ask people what works, what doesn't, that actually helps you achieve the goal of building a startup much better than just building it in solitary confinement of bettering your MVP, if you understand what I mean. So my suggestion to you would be to iterate through feedback rather than just complicating the process of building a perfect MVP. So that would be another note I want to leave you people with. And then so since you have a vision of having your MVP done 3 months down the line, so what would be your metric of success 3 months down the line when you have an full-fledged MVP done? What would be your vision of the MVP, and what are your plans with going ahead, considering the fact that you're 3 months down the line, you have a small MVP done, and you've taken my advice and would go forward with iterating through feedback? And then what would be your vision 3 months down the line after you have an MVP? What have you planned to go about with the MVP?
Okay, after we have the MVP 3 months down the line, beta testing is very, very crucial, because that is one way we can show investors that this is a short product and it works and people have it. We can do that is to actually show user feedback, and if it is positive or even if it is negative, we can improve on it. So after beta testing, we would have a fully fledged, or at least fully formed idea and MVP, which we can then go on and show investors for funding later, or partners, depends on whatever we're looking for at the time.
Yeah. So that is wonderful. Actually, beta testing is very important, because I think iterating through customer feedback is very important rather than building your product and adding features which you think are important is uh, much more is less efficient than asking the customer what they want and adding it to your product. So that is an amazing idea to have. And then so we are coming towards the end of the session. So I have understood that both of you have very strong vision for recovery link. So just wrapping things up, I have obviously I have three suggestions for you. One would be delegate your tasks to different people. May it be through hiring, or may it be through having another set of people who work on different set of products. And essentially what this will do is it will help you iterate and reach to your MVP 3 months down the line, and that would be a much better, that will have you in a much better position rather than just rerouting to square one again and again. And point number two would be start focusing on trying to get a legalization for your startup, because that will essentially help you to reach out to credible hospitals where you can act as a official legal entity which is going to deal with serious clients, because obviously hospitals are corporate setups which definitely require a certain set of confidence while they use a product which they're using on prospective clients. So having the legalization is very very important and will help you tenfold in increasing your reach. And I think the third one would obviously be trying to develop an MVP which would solve the problems of the customer and getting the feedback of the customer and then improving it, rather than trying to add more features to the MVP which would slow you down. I think these are the three things from the brief idea I have understood from your startup I have had. So I believe that uh, Stootap can definitely help you with these things. Yeah, after this call, we can definitely reach out and explore how we can work together. So, uh, just before I wrap up, I'd like to wish both of you very best of luck in building your startup. And uh, just before leaving, I'd love to know how was the session. Did you gain any valuable insights? Both Chinmay and Sharali can go after this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing session. Got a lot of valuable insights, honestly. And yeah, we will reach out to you later.
Yeah.
I would really like to thank you for all of your insights, because these were all things that were at the back of our minds, but we never really put any real thought to it because, again, no one has really pointed it out specifically. So, thanks to this session, we've understood a lot of the problems and also a lot of the solutions. Then we will
Yeah.
work towards achieving those goals as well. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. I'll stop.